maybe share with us what a first lien HELOC is, who's it for, what does it do, kind of the
Yeah.
high level stuff.
So it's certainly a niche product, not for everybody. It has its advantages of using our cash flow to pay down the balance. So what we're going to do with a first lien HELOC is replace an existing mortgage. So we're going to have a balance, let's say 100,000, and then we're going to determine a limit based upon the appraised value. So we may say your limit is 150,000. And the whole concept is it ties in with the velocity banking keys. We're
Mhm.
going to set up a checking account that we direct our payroll into, our household funds to deposit, and then that checking account's a pass through. It's going to move all the funds over to the HELOC to decrease that balance automatically. And then vice versa for expenses, we'll be able to route those expenses out as they come through.
Great. Well, who's this a good fit for, right? If somebody's out there listening, they have no idea kind of what this is. We're going to dive into it a little bit more, but who should be listening? Who should be paying attention here this episode?
Yeah, so a lot of our typical clients are can be anywhere from a W-2 employment, self-employment, and really we have strong cash flow. So in an example, we may have 5,000 come in and 2,000 go out as expenses. And the other key part to that is what's your loan amount. On 100,000, that ratio would work really well to where we pay that 100,000 off in about 3.5 years. If that loan amount was 400,000, we wouldn't have the same success. So it's really when we're looking and discussing like who's it best for, we're trying to uncover those three factors. What's the income, what's the expenses, and what's your loan amount. So each of those will determine if it's a right fit.
So, in essence, what I'm hearing is somebody, you use the example, earning five and their expenses are two, right? So those ratios might be a little bit unusual, I would think. I mean, to have twice as much income as their expenses, um, but what they're saying is that extra 3 grand, right? It has to go somewhere. And what with this strategy is we're leaving it against the HELOC, which is lowering the mortgage, right? So we're eventually using that our extra cash flow to pay down the mortgage.
Correct. So as that 5,000 comes in, today at midnight it sweeps over, drops the balance from 100 to 95,000 automatically. Then when we route out our expenses for the month, that 2,000 as an example, it adds back. So now we owe 97,000. And now we come back and calculate the interest. This is a simple interest calculation
Mhm.
based upon the daily average balance. So if we held that balance at 95 for 25 days, another 5 it was at that 97. Now we're calculating interest on 95,000 versus that original 100,000. And then that's automatically added back to the loan. So it might be, let's say that was $500. Now you owe 97.5 at the end of the month. So with our positive cash flow, we reduce the principal by $2,500. But the other advantageous piece is we retain access to that liquidity as we keep suppressing the balance down. So
Okay.
yeah, that cash flow is that success. If we spend 4,500 out of our 5,000, and then we add our interest, we're gonna break even.
You want to see the entire episode? Click here. If you want to learn how investors use infinite banking to increase their returns and lower their taxes, click here. If you want to see if infinite banking is for you and you have some questions, hop on a discovery call with us and one of our coaches. The link for that will be in the description.